open it.
Kraken Up, the Carpy's podcast, where we talk everything Carpies. Here's your host, Derreck Carapellatti.
Welcome back to another episode of the Kraken Up podcast. My name is Derreck Carapellatti, the co-owner of Carpy Sprint Company. We got a special guest here today, Mr. TJ Greer. Where are you, man?
We are in Nashville, Tennessee for the PGF Nationals for softball.
Nice. I love Tennessee. Every time I go to Tennessee, I think about just moving there.
Man, it's like the perfect weather, except for when it rains. Like it's so, I don't want to say bipolar, but we played Nationals down here like 5 or 6 years ago. It rained a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a blast. Like, it's just gorgeous. It's hot. It's everything you want in the summertime. It's not humid like when you go to the south or anything. So I love it. It's nice.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah, we've been down there for a few RC races over the years, and then Audra and I went back last year. We stayed in Knoxville.
Mm-hmm.
We went down for the Bristol night race, and it was awesome. The whole week was just perfect.
You guys drink a bunch?
Oh yeah. They had this little mini. It was kind of like a mini Nashville, like a strip of like bars and stuff, and it was a ton of fun. We spent like a whole night out there. We ended up in this weird, sketchy karaoke basement. Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a 20 by 20 room with like 700 people in it.
Man, that'd be like an epic like dance party.
It felt like a high school party in like someone's parents' basement when they were out of town is what it felt like.
But with all adults.
Yeah, with all adults, hopefully.
And you're legal, old enough to drink.
Never been to a party, so
We'll keep it that way.
She ain't got time to party. She's got championships to win.
Listen, softball, she works, goes to school. She's pretty busy.
That's good.
Yeah.
She's
trying to teach her that good work ethic,
Yeah.
Work hard, play hard.
Yeah. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the big game coming up? What is it? You said next week, right?
That's next week. So
yep.
We're down here with our travel softball team, Indiana Gators, 16U Thorpe Premier, Southport, Indiana, about an hour and 30 minutes north from where we live. So we travel for practice. I'm done coaching, so ultimately I said the best value I'm going to get from you moving forward for the next 3 years is you get to pick your team, and I just get to be dad. So every year we've always done nationals. Most travel teams do. You get to pretty much pick where you want to go or what you qualify for, and you go down there and try and win a championship. So we are here. We start pool play Tuesday and Wednesday, and we go right into the bracket. So we're hoping to bring home a championship for the Gators.
So have you been playing softball, I'm assuming, most of your life?
yeah.
Or just in like your teen years?
Ever since I people.
And so TJ, you said you coached a little bit.
Yeah, I coached Hoosier Force from helped in 10U all the way up until this last year in 16U. We had a really good team, but the team kind of disbanded. We had some members that wanted to go play for other organizations and other teams. We were never the biggest organization. We were more about quality over quantity. So I think at the time we had only had 3 teams within our organization, but they were good. They were really, really good competitive teams. So we were never, the biggest organization. So I coached all the way up until last year, and we held on to about 6 extra weeks, which is what I really did not want to do. But ultimately for the families, I needed to make a decision with my assistant coach that was to let the families be able to find a team that they were going to fit in with before it was too late. Really good players, really good families. But if I hold them back for any amount of time longer, they probably wouldn't have been able to find a team. So it kind of put us in a bad situation. So we were trying to find a team at the end of August, which at that time you already got uniforms ordered, you're already through sanction fees, you're already practicing with the team for a month. So usually it's like the last few weeks of July, the first couple weeks of August, the good teams solidify their teams. They roster, they get on the ball, they don't wait around. The team disbanded, so I decided it would just be best for me to let her pick the team. So I didn't really post up for tryouts for her. Just kind of said, hey, got a 16 UA class pitcher, a second-year player, needs to find a team. Messaged a few coaches. We set up some tryouts, and I let her pick the team when she got her offers. So she chose the Gators, and already we are going to leave this team after this season, which will be after this next week with Nationals will be done. That team is going to stay as a 16U premier team, and she ages up, so she has to go to the 18U division.
Nice.
So we tried to look around within the organization to find a couple Gators teams. Didn't know if it was going to be a good fit. We're driving an hour and a half for practice every week, which we knew what we were getting into at the time, but it's a lot, in order for her to be able to bond and gel with the families, you got to find that fit because, that's really what it's about. You're spending almost every other weekend with them out of town. We've played the last 7 or 8 weeks in a row out of town. So me and RC car racing, it hasn't happened in like 2 months. So that's life.
I know you're looking sick.
I know I'm like deprived. I need like some like RCIV or something like to inject me.
You're just instead of using like a body lotion, you're just rubbing like Papa Willie's or SXT all over.
It's
no, you're sticky kicks, right?
That's right. Yeah. Sticky kicks. I'm just lathering it up, Got that V2 gold all over me.
So you're a man of many hats, and I know you've been on a few podcasts recently, and I would like to not cover as much of the RC stuff. I want to get down to some weird stuff.
Weird stuff. Okay.
So I get from something I learned recently was in your former life you were famous.
Ish. I just played guitar in a band called Remember Paris. And then in my downtime when I wasn't playing with them, I would play with another band when they needed guitarists to fill in Dismiss the Serpent. 2 completely different genres. One was like commercial, we'd say commercial pop punk, and the other one was like hardcore, heavy, breakdown metal. I loved it. I loved them both. They were both very different. It got to channel different parts of what I wanted to do. So yeah, I did. I was in a band from I was 17. I think I quit when I was 22 or 3 in the same band. So 7 years. We got to tour and play a lot of fun stuff. Recorded some music videos, some albums, slept in some bands, did some crazy stuff, lived the life.
Yeah.
But came home from the last one we did in 2011, and this girl was like, I never want you to leave. I never want you to tour again. And it was like the light bulb had just clicked. I think I was at my end. I needed to do the right thing and be the best dad I could be. And, being a touring father, I'll be the first to tell you and the first to admit worldwide, that lifestyle did not let me be a good father. I was just choosing a whole different lifestyle versus what I really needed to do. And, it was the quote that says, from the movie The Rookie, it's okay to do what you want to do until it's time to do what you're really meant to do.
Right.
And I loved touring. I loved the lifestyle, but I would never do it again. But never, I have no interest to want to. I took a hard disconnect from it when I was done. I actually packed up all my gear for about 5 years, never touched the guitar, never did anything with my recording stuff, just really just disconnected from it. To find something else to get into. And I think that's where, RC car racing took the hard left turn for me.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Yeah, I would imagine touring in any lifestyle, whether it's in a band or even like a racing road mechanic or a rodeo, any of those things. I feel like it'd be hard to do anything but that because not many people can relate to that lifestyle, like the Rolling Stone type lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you don't have like a consistency, like you said, to put energy into like things back home. Probably
it's hard. Someone who probably gets the most. Excuse me. Someone that probably gets the most that you just mentioned probably be like Kevin Smith. He would get it. You know what I mean? Like he's got to take that hard disconnect from toy car racing. And he's got to focus on the big cars, congrats on the pole finish for that team they just got. But it's tough, you know what I mean? Like it's a lifestyle that not a lot of people, if you've never lived before, understand what they go through. It's a lot of time away from family. You're broke, literally broke.
Yep.
Scrounging for meals, living off per diems. Like, it's not a good life. But I mean, I loved it. It was my dream. It's what I wanted to do. I had a really good time. I was with my 4 best friends, and they're all just out doing different things. They tried for a little bit longer. It didn't really pan out. I hate that for them. But now they're all, some of them are settled down and married. Some of them are just getting married. It's just, they're living good lives, and I think, just at that point in time in my life, I was just ready to be done and focused on being what I wasn't, and
Right.
May have messed up some friendships, but at the end of the day, like, I had to take care of, my obligation, my life, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Kevin, he does he does a lot of traveling, and it seemed like he did. I know he did a lot more when he worked with the sprint car series that he was with.
Yep.
They were racing like 3-4 nights a week.
Yeah.
I know his schedule got to lighten up a little bit with the with the IndyCar stuff. Oops. Y'all, here's some photos.
Yeah.
Look at that sexy man.
Yep. Back before this dad bod took over. You know what this means, right? I drink and eat well with friends.
Well, dad bods are actually in style now.
Yeah, everybody wants one. They're just, some people are afraid to work for it like I am. I worked hard to get this.
A lot of years. Doesn't happen
It is.
overnight.
No, I think 2011 was the last time I toured.
Yeah.
It was many moons ago.
Yeah. So the other thing that you seem to have mastered, everything you do, you seem to master, it seems. But
I don't like to suck, if that's any consolation. Like, the one thing, if I'm gonna do it, I'm not gonna half-ass anything, and I'm trying to teach her that. Like, she doesn't do it. Sometimes she's in, sometimes she's out. I want her to realize, to go 110%, because this is reality. There's somebody out there in life that is ready to beat me at what I'm doing, and I can either accept being a loser, or I can succeed trying to become a winner. I don't always win. I don't always win at what I do. I'm not always the best at what I do, but I will be the best person I can be for me.
Right.
In somebody else's eyes, I may not be the richest. Party fail. That's going to make a blooper. All right, I'll drink that. Yeah, there you go. I may not be the best at what I do, but I will be the best version of me. And that's kind of what I'm trying to teach her is, softball, for instance, there's somebody that's going to take your position. Whether or not you're going to accept being here at the bottom of the barrel, but you got to climb to the top. And eventually you're not going to be able to do it anymore. At what point in time do you let somebody else tell you that, or do you take control of your own destiny and fate and continue to make the hard charge?
Right.
But yeah, I just don't like to suck. That's just the bottom line is, if I suck at something, I will gracefully bow out. Let somebody else do whatever it is they're doing better than me, or I'm going to find a way to get better or be the best of whatever I can be.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, even in business for me, my whole motivation is like fear of failure.
Yeah.
Like, I will not fail, whether that means I'm going to be at the shop for 20 hours or I'm going to be reading business books all night, or, I mean, who are we kidding? I'm listening to audiobooks. I'm not reading any books.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's like the day and age of now is we can do that. Back when I was her age, we barely had audiobooks. If you did that, you're paying top dollar. And listen, I was a broke dude. I wasn't paying top dollar to get a good grade. No way.
Yep. Yeah. Failure is definitely my biggest motivation. I mean, especially once you get down the road and you've put in so much time into it, you can't fail. Like, you just can't let it happen. And with enough effort and work, and with the resources that are available today, like, there's almost no excuse to fail in anything.
Look at like
really.
where you came from with Carpies. When I first saw Carpies, it was 2016.
Yeah.
So when I literally just looked up, like, I was just getting into racing, like, I wanted to not paint cars and look like the noob. So I was like, I'm going to wrap these things. Looked it up. Carpies was the first thing that populated. At that point in time, like, it was fairly easy. I just messaged you and you messaged right back.
Yep.
Now you've got away from that. It's not so much messages. It's formalities of, hey, we got a process. You're going to follow this process. It's easy. We're going to give you quality work in a short amount of time. And that is something I could probably tell everybody in this industry is when they message me for like a coupon code or a discount code or whatever it may be, or how quick can you get it back? I'm like, think of the time frame. You're all ordering in tax time. It's going to be a little bit longer. But if you're going to message them in the middle of the year when they got nothing going on and people are just buying when they get a little extra cheddar in their pocket, like, it's all business. You know what I mean? But I look at the empire that you've grown into, and ultimately the customer service was what appealed me to Carpy's. Not the quality was great. Don't get me wrong. It's gotten better over the years.
Yep.
But how quick you guys were able to get me something that I truly didn't even think I liked, but I just did it just to do it because that early design for me was dumb. It was dumb. But I mean, I still have it. But the customer service of you guys, I think, is really what set you guys apart because it isn't like, oh, I'm going to make my best friends look the coolest or my team drivers are going to look the best or anything. It was you're going to pump them out, but I think that's what everybody wanted was like, how quick can you get them out? You know what I mean? And you guys are still running a very short-handed business, and so to speak, with not a lot of staff. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. Yeah, we're at 7 employees now. 3 of which include, I guess, me partially as RC specific.
Yeah.
Then we got some screen printing guys, some embroidery, shipping, and then Audra, of course, handles all the customer service. So yeah, it's a tight knit group, and honestly, we probably need 2 more people. And we've tried to get 2 more people, but we're a weird group, and it takes a weird individual to fit in and like get it. And it's super strange because we have of everybody that works there, we're 7 completely different people, and you would never think that we would get along, but for some weird way it all meshes together. And when every time we try to add the next person in, like efficiency goes down, more errors happen. So like the group we have is probably a little short staffed, but it's like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And it's I almost don't even want to mess with it at this point.
It's like if you interview somebody, it's like, I'm going to bring you in for like a 7-day trial phase where like you got to meet with each one of our guys and and gals and see if you just happen to mesh. And if it doesn't, that 1X is probably going to be a no for me, dog.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because Mo, he's kind of like a old school, like hippie deadhead.
Yeah.
And Evan's kind of like a nerdy gamer kid. And I'm
he doesn't
like,
race by anything. Like he doesn't do anything with racing.
No. He's
He
never even touched an RC car.
Never even touched one. But he's the one that does all the designs for him.
Yep.
That's his sole function.
Yeah. When he came in, I was doing all the RC stuff myself, and I was also trying to design all the other stuff that we do, like T-shirts and banners and signs. And it was too much to do, and I was doing it 10 hours at home after work, and so I needed someone to take just the other stuff away. And like he did, and he applied himself, and he researched on his own time and learn new tutorials. And every time he would get ahead, I would feed him some of my stuff. I was like, can you vectorize these logos or build this background? He would send it to me. I'd put it all together. And that just kind of evolved, and he kind of learned like the style curve of race wraps and like applied himself and wanted to learn more and more and more. So yeah, like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, we offered him a raise and gave him that whole department. So he handles that whole thing on his own now. He's actually never even been to a race until a year and a half ago. I took him to Kevin and his crew came up to our track about an hour from here. We took him up to that. It was his first race he ever been to of any kind.
What did he think?
I think he thought it was cool, but he might have been a little toasted also, so I'm not really sure he even knew what was happening.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, it was fun. I mean, I'm sure now, like, that's what he thinks all races are, is like professional teams and stuff. So if he went to like our local track on a Wednesday, it'd be a totally different experience, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, man, they'd be out fighting each other.
So the lawn care, what got you into doing all that? You got fucking professional drone footage of your own lawn and stuff?
Oh boy.
Um, so it actually started with one of my co-managers I work with in supply chain logistics. He was running one of his like own lawn care business, and so I built this house, and not this one we're in, sorry, but I built my house in Indiana. Yes, that one
Look at that
in
thing.
2019.
That house right there.
So I built my house in 2019, and oh man, uh, those are good looking lines. Those are good looking lines. You know, I got better lines than a Coke dealer. Uh, I was push mowing it, right? And I hated it. I hated mowing. And he had told me, it's like, man, if you just pull the trigger, you're not hard up for cash, man. Just pull the trigger and go buy a zero turn. I was like, dude, they're like $6,000. He said, you won't second guess spending $2,000 on an RC car. And I was like, you're not wrong. And so he kind of put it in perspective for me. And so I have a video. I should have sent it to you, but yeah. So I was test driving these little mowers, and there's a family sitting over there looking at this like $10,000 mower. And so I was like test driving, like I was driving it and like get off my lawn and like the old friendly neighbor wave and, you know, the drink holder, make sure it's the right distance from where I needed it to be.
I've seen that. Yeah.
So that. And so he was like, man, if you would just buy a zero turn, it doesn't become a chore, and then it makes you want to take it next level.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't wrong, because we put sod in the front and seed in the back. So like I had to figure out how to make the grass grow the same, but being two different types. It was weird.
Yeah.
And so if you didn't know, now you do. It was sod in the front and grass seed in the back when the house was first built. And so I bought a zero turn, brought it home, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to start taking care of it. I'm going to fertilize. Well, nobody else around me was doing it. Like you could tell they were trying to, but they weren't really fertilizing. They weren't watering when they needed to, or putting humic acid down, or anything like that, you know? And so in 2020 is when I really started, 4 years ago, is when I really started to focus on kind of the lawn care. And it just kind of became like a routine, you know, like I fertilize when I need to, I put the humic acid down, I let it grow when it needs to. It's thick. Like that grass is 3.75 inches thick. So like
really?
if you go and step on it, you sink in. But I don't know, just having the best lines in the neighborhood just kind of became a thing, and I just kind of been absorbing more of this dad role of like the typical dad, you know. And so it was funny. I was mowing last year, and these old couple, they walked by the house. Like once they started building like all the new houses in there, um, a lot of older people started like just walking down the neighborhood, probably just admiring. While I was out blowing off the lawn clippings, and I stopped to pick up a stick or something, and this lady was like, "Tell your parents you have a nice lawn." I kind of laughed and was like, I'll let them know. And then she came back by like 2 weeks later and said, you know, hey, we just wanted to tell you your parents' lawn looks great. It's like, hey, I know you guys said it 2 weeks ago. This is actually my house. So I don't know if she thought it was because I was tattooed and crazy looking if I couldn't have a nice lawn, but it just started like that. Like it kind of grew into a stigma of your typical dad. And then I don't know, I just embrace it, I guess.
Yeah. So we live in so we live like 10 minutes from St. Bonaventure, the college. And so we live in this like village, and like all the houses are relatively nice, but there's one across the street. I don't know how much time you spend on the lawn, but they're retired and they spend every day on this lawn. It looks nicer than our golf courses. Like their
I
whole
wouldn't be mad
thing.
about it.
Yeah, it's a I'll have to send you a picture after this, but
Yeah.
it's wild. It makes me feel like a hillbilly out there.
I mean, I'd maybe to mow it, to make it look like that, it doesn't take very long. I mean, you just have to have a good mower with good blades, and a little bit of deck weight to it to lay it over. People really think it's like your grass is two different heights.
Yeah.
It's not. It's really just contrast of the grass laying one way versus another way, and then the light hitting it in the right. You have to be pretty specific. You know, you got to know, you know, where the light lays. You know, the good way is it a vertical path, or is it like the diagonal lines, or is it the diamond? You know, whatever the pattern you may throw down, like I do it for a couple weeks and then I'll change.
Yeah.
But it only takes me about 28 to 30 minutes to mow my lawn. So
Really?
yeah, it's just a big square, so it's very simple. I've chose to not put other trees or anything in there. It's just one big square lawn with like no landscaping. Where
Mhm.
people are pulling weeds out of their flower bed, I don't want no flower beds. I just want nice grass.
Yeah.
And I don't care if kids run on it. The neighbor kids, the neighbor town or the neighborhood kids, they all run through the yard. They look, and I'm just like, you guys are fine. Like, it's just grass. Like, you guys can play on it. It's really not that real.
It's probably a good thing you don't get into golf.
Why?
'Cause I
Because
feel like,
judge their
no, I feel
lines.
like you would end up building a fucking makeshift golf course in your lawn.
I mean,
At least a
listen,
putting green.
she goes off to college in 2 years. I'm going to have
Yeah.
a lot of time left on my hands. You really know where that time's going to go?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's where it's going to go.
Fucking nerd.
That's what I am, man. I'm a toy car nerd.
When are you gonna, speaking of toy cars, when are you gonna come out and race Carpet Oval?
Carpet Oval. So just like Autumn said, she wants to take a weekend to get away and have fun. I don't know, maybe what's out there? When?
There's nothing out here.
Well,
We have
then.
to go about like 3 hours to any track.
Okay.
That's why we don't race much.
So
Actually, no, I'm wrong. They're in the fall. PRW has a race out in they're in Rome, so like near Syracuse.
okay.
They have a race once a month. It's kind of a big race they do. They do 4 of them a year.
How far away from you are you, like from Newburgh or New Windsor?
I'm not sure. We're an hour and a half south of Buffalo.
Okay, so I'm trying to think because that's where we went and recorded one of our albums, where like Orange County Choppers is from and all that stuff. Like they're like in the same town, like neighboring each other.
Yeah, I think Orange County Choppers. Yeah, it was like 3-4 hours away. I think.
Okay, so yeah, that's really where we were, and then we go to like New York City while we were there.
Yeah.
Listen,
New
she
York.
said she wanted to take a vacation and get away again, and she was like, "Tell Derek we want to come out to New York." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So she wants to come out, even if it's for racing. She'd probably still be down. She doesn't go. She doesn't need to. You know what I mean?
Right.
She enjoys that I have a hobby like this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like our area, like where we live, is pretty small. Not really a lot going on. There's golf courses.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
she golfs, or she used to.
Oh, really?
I was like, babe, you're gonna be something better than me. We should do this.
That's a good idea. We got like 5 or 6 of them around here within a 20-minute drive.
So listen, she can golf. I happen to own a golf cart, so I know I can drive one of them G29 Yamahas.
There you go.
And then I can beer it up.
Yeah. Or we can send her with Audra golfing, and we'll go find a race somewhere.
I'm down to do that too.
We got like dirt tracks galore.
Oh,
There's like
if we're
7.
going to a dirt track, she'll want to go.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, she's all about it.
Yeah.
Our local track didn't open this year, and she was like, we haven't been to a single dirt track race this summer, and I'm pretty mad about it. I'm bummed.
Yeah.
Like, well, let's get through nationals and let's go. We'll go to Kokomo.
Yeah. Yeah, you got good dirt tracks near you.
Yeah, we got the best of the best. Well, Gas City was one of the best. You know what needs to happen? Tony Stewart needs to buy that track. Gas City. He needs to invest a program to take over that program for him. He just needs to back it and then build it back up to what it used to be. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't open this year. Couldn't get a backer, had a bunch of promotional issues. It's a great track.
Yeah.
It's well known. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Tony Stewart, he gets into things and then gets bored and then gets out, like just lets it crumble.
Well, you can't be bored if you're not there. It's just the money aspect of it. Like, you don't even have to be there. His name alone will drive promotions itself.
Yeah, that's true.
Branding 101. You don't have to be there. Your name just has to sell it.
So for RC, what do you got coming up once softball season wraps up? You going to Chili Bowl again?
So actually, I just took a phone call Friday about 7:00. Cuz Hornet from Cuz Motorsports called me and asked me about Chili Bowl. And I was like, he asked me if I was going. And I was like, honestly, I'm probably going to tell you no, but you might change my mind. And that is because Chili Bowl decided to drop SE Mod. Now, don't get me wrong, SE Mod was the smallest class, like 2 to 3 years in a row that we've gone. I think it only had 80 entries in it this year. So it's small, for a national championship like it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, I can go and run Outlaw late model and 110 sprint or whatever, just wing sprint. Chili Bowl, I could probably go. I was talking about going to I-44 down in Lebanon, Missouri. Apparently they had a pretty good race that happened, and they did it all in a weekend. So your load-in was Friday, practice was Friday. I think you did seating around Saturday, and you were done with the mains on Sunday. So it was quick. I don't know. Chili Bowl, it's still in the works. I've got the time to put in for it. I-44, I'm going to do. I am going to be doing Crown Jewel, Argos, Indiana, for Tony Lidgar's track, Backyard Raceway.
Yep.
Labor Day weekend, I'll be doing that. I'm entered in 2 classes. I'll run SE Mod, and then I will turn around and run 110, the wing sprint. So that's Labor Day weekend. That'll be the next biggest race I probably get to. I'm pretty much free after next week, so really just gotta look and see. I think I want to go back up to the Crater and do their Dirt Nationals. I think it's like the second or last week of August.
Oh, okay.
That track is huge. It's a lot of fun. It's indoor, high bank.
Nice.
The track's so big, you feel like your cars aren't going fast.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense.
Yep.
It's just so big. I mean, it's a battery eater. I think when I first got there, I went there and raced. It's been a while, a couple months ago, but we were on like a low pin tire on a Friday night, and then Saturday late night, 10, 11 o'clock at night, we're running full on like gumball slicks. So, yeah. So, yeah, there's plenty of races I can get into. I've been chomping at the bit. I've decided to not touch the cars to like give me any certain feeling. I just like let them be, like put the batteries away, storage mode, just let the race room kind of leave it be. And so once I get back, I'll go over the cars, rebuild shocks, and figure out what race I'm going to go to, and just show up somewhere and put down some laps, see what'll happen.
Yeah, we got to get everybody together for like a race. Like you, Kevin, me, Ryan, my dad. I don't know. We should go do something weird that none of us do, like boat racing or something.
Like RC car or like real?
Yeah. Oh, we could do real stuff too.
Oh my God, that sounds dangerous. This is why I got into RC cars.
We can go find a K1 kart track.
Fun.
Yeah.
Listen, what we ought to do is we ought to meet in the middle. Like we got to do like a dedicated half a year split where it's like this part of the year we're gonna get on dirt. You know what I mean? We're gonna put these carpet freaks on dirt and let them show what it looks like to throw some nuggets. And then we're gonna take these loose dirt fools that are ripping the lip and put them on like carpet fuzz pins or something. I don't know. I don't even know what you would call it, but the cars are like this big. They're like, I don't know. They're pan cars.
Yeah.
They're like
foam slicks.
Yeah.
With like max grip. It's like a F1 car compared to like a loose dirt car.
Yeah, like where we have give and like you could throttle through it. Like this is like traction roll.
No, there's no traction roll. This shit's just stuck.
Well, even better. So I can
open mod 200-foot run line in 1.9 seconds a lap.
Oh my God.
Just fucking go.
So like for us when Brickhouse was like gripped up, we were doing like 3.0 laps. Like that's on like dirt. So they're doing it in, what'd you say, one what?
It's usually like a 1.923 depending.
So 1.9 seconds to get around a track.
Yeah. But they're just stuck. You just got to be able to react fast.
So when you did your first race, we could talk about that. Her first race.
Yeah.
We're talking about what did you experience when you? This was we went to Infinity in Kokomo when they were open. RIP. when they were open, and I was like, "Hey, you should go racing with me." And I've always asked her. She's like, "Nah, nah." Well, she said yes one day, and I didn't believe her. I was like, "Holy shit! Did you just tell me yes?"
Because like where it would go, I just don't this time. And then he was so happy. And then I got the clean.
I mean, you got somebody who's going to clean your tires for you? Heck, come on, clean my tires for me. But then she finally went. So I was like, "Oh my god, I got to get this old Slash ready and put it in the oven." So I'm like working to get this car ready, and it was a good car because that was one of my very first RC cars that I raced was a Slash.
Mm-hmm.
So when she came out and everybody's like, "Oh, you're running his old Slash?" Well, she's cheating already because we know that car's fast. And I just don't run that class anymore.
Right.
And so I put a 12 turn in it and just slowed it down, and she went and raced and
Did my first race and
the driver's stand.
yeah, and I blinked. Just tears rolling down.
Yeah.
That's like, dude, what's wrong with nothing? He didn't blink.
So she got
Yeah.
yeah, she got done and she's looking and she's like finally blinked and she's like shaking. I'm like, "Dude, what's wrong?" And she's like crying and she's like, "Nothing. I just blinked for the first time that whole race."
Yeah.
And then so she goes back to the pit and I tell her what she's got to do, and then I go up and do my races. We come back and she's ready to go, and then she does it again. And this time I'm watching. I actually get to take some videos. And AJ was talking about her having a cheater car because it's already been something I've worked on. So, but yeah, that was her first race. She ended up getting third in that class, which was her.
I also cried during the second race.
Hey, if you're not crying, you're not trying.
Yeah, there you go. Be another shirt.
Yeah.
What you? We could do that. I'll get a hold of my guys.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel though. Every time, so I only run open mod like once or twice a year, mainly because there's not enough people stupid enough to run it. So there's only a few races we go to a year. There's enough cars to actually run it. But like next weekend, I'm running 12 scale open mod, so it's even smaller car, but with the same motor package.
So like 12 scales, like this big. Like they're like small.
It's small, yeah.
Yeah.
But it has the same motor battery package as the 10 scale version. And so it's nutty. So you have like no wheelbase, it's narrow and just light and super fast. Yeah, but anytime we run that, I don't blink for the whole. Well, actually, for that class, they run 5 minutes. So, yeah, I don't blink for the whole 5 minutes. And as soon as I do, yeah.
That's insane. We're doing like 3-minute heats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the idea was in the 12 scale, they were trying to create like dumping, like the old days.
Yeah.
So, but now everyone's figured it out. So nobody dumps, and we still have to run 5 minutes. So it's just brutal on your brain.
Yeah. We're done. You check that after that. Like, I'm done. I'm out.
But most people don't make it 5 minutes. It's usually about a minute and a half until one car wrecks and everybody's destroyed. But
yeah, we know that feeling. It's the same. I mean, it's the same on dirt when you're gripped up and everybody's going, and you got 2.5 feet to move, and and your car's sideways, and you're taking up 12 inches of that 2.5 feet. How do you pass? You know what I mean? It's just it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough. That's the challenge.
We ran dirt for 1 year. We ran mod sprint with a high bite with the foams.
I saw that video wherever it was. I commented a long time ago, and this track was like grooved up.
Oh,
it was outside.
No, that wasn't even a real track. That was just one of my buddies built that in his backyard. That was just he built a little bull ring track and he just coated it in transmission fluid. So you could run mod sprint on like an 80-foot run line track, just full board.
I mean, it was insane. I was like, dude, I've never seen anything. It looked like asphalt. It was like black. It was awesome.
Yeah.
You'd be pulling the left up the whole way.
Yeah, he just poured bottles and bottles of transmission fluid on it, and it just
horrible
fucking
for the environmental part, but that'd be great. I mean, who cares about the earth? You know what I mean? Have a race.
That's about it. And then, yeah. So yeah, when you pull the car off the track, the whole inside is coated in transmission fluid. So like everything's just fucked, electronic wise. But yeah, we ran at a track. You know, Radio Hill. You ever seen videos of that?
That sounds really familiar.
It's like been around for 50 years probably. But yeah, we ran that. It's a scaled down Bristol essentially, but it's a clay baby smooth indoor track. They run it up in out near Watkins Glen. So we ran there for about maybe a year. And it was just brutal. Like those cars are so fast for that track, and one error or one wheel touch, and just everyone's
Screws everybody.
And it's every week we were just tearing up whole cars. And then we started running at a track in Rochester. You know Bob Baker.
Yes, I've heard that name.
Yeah. So he owned a track in his backyard, but he owns a construction company. So it was like a 250-foot run line tri-oval outdoor clay there's like a high bite foam track. And it was just probably the coolest track I've ever raced on.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I never had any success on the dirt though.
It's tough, man. It's a tuner's game. Like you gotta change your cars for what the track's going to get to. You know, so sometimes a lot of people start to lose. Like at Tony's track, he tends to keep it as loose as he can, but it grooves up. And the second he sees it groove up, he's like, we're gonna break it up, you know. And so everybody who wants to be a bottom feeder is like, man, you're destroying the track. And it's like, no, man, we're gonna make it loose. It's still fast racing, but it gives you multiple run lines.
Yeah.
You know, and so Tony's kind of mastered that art of kind of run bottom, middle, and high. You know, I was kind of on that danger zone where, you know, we've seen a bunch of cars, Kevin being one of them, back-to-back races. He's taken that sprint car and he's flung that thing out of turn 3 into the cornfield. So, yeah.
What was that video that Kevin posted like a week or so ago where all those guys are running like right on the wall?
That's backyard. So they're just coming in and they're just throwing the car at the corner, and you get in that apex of that corner and you just drive right out of it. And if you look, all three of them did the exact same thing where they got loose, because most of them were hitting that same corner, right? That very first car that did it kind of was like leading the line, and you know as well as I do, like you don't drive like the driver in front of you or the car in front of you, but you tend to follow that line. And then when they mess up, you mess up, and it's kind of like a you know, they all three got kind of like the slideways deal, but that's backyard, man. It's gonna
that looks super cool.
It's a blast, man. That is hands down my favorite outdoor track I've been to. I'm excited that Crown Jewel's going to be there. So a lot of big money. It'll bring in a lot of big racers. So
yeah, the dirt racing we did was almost like a carpet race, but on clay. Like it was all around the bottom, pretty much wide open.
It's hard. I mean, it takes a lot of work to have a loose dirt track. As much as everybody, it's either you've got loose dirt that has moisture in it, or you have a loomy, dry, dusty, which just destroys your motors and your car. It's not fun to be around, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll definitely have to set something up, whether it's like an RC race or maybe we all get together, do some kind of a rental cart situation. Either one would be good content.
Maybe we do one in like the spring. We do another one in like the fall. We meet in the middle. We do like dirt one time. We do carpet the next. You know, where like maybe Kevin Smith and myself and Ryan will put together all the dirt cars, and we'll bring you guys out and say who needs what. What do you want to run?
Yeah.
You know, and then we come back and we do the carpet stuff, and I'll be your hired driver that finishes dead last.
Sounds good to me.
But I'm gonna look good doing it.
Oh yeah. You've never not looked good.
Man.
Even with those like weird comb over bang things you had going on.
It worked. It worked. It was era specific, and it worked. Like it was.
What was that like? Was that like 09?
No. It was close to it. So
it looked like the 09 era.
Like the real short hair was like probably 7, 8, 9, or 7 and 8, and like 9, 10, 11 was when my hair was real long.
Oh yeah.
So I kept it for a few more years and got rid of it, and then
Cool. Well, I'll let you guys go. Enjoy your vacation. Get ready for the big game. I know you got your Carpy's energy, so good luck passing the drug test. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Yep, no problem. Good talking to you
See you
guys. Good luck.
Thank you.